I'll do that just for them. Okay, and I hope I'm doing it right. But hey, y'all want to see the big eyeball? I've been posting about it all day. Do you see it? See it back there? It's
Yeah.
It is the weirdest thing ever. It's like I bet it's 3 stories tall. It's an eyeball. So I guess the owner of this hotel bought that land so he could put it out there. And that's his art with grass and an eyeball. I don't know. Awesome.
So you're feeling like you're being watched.
Yes. I did a Periscope on being watched. I had that song in my head all day long. But anyway, so y'all, if you didn't know, I was able to spend some time with Sonya and Helen this summer, and on a couple of my trips, I've been like on a whirlwind on trips this summer, and have had a ball just getting to know them better and spend quality time with them. One of the best blessings with Plexus is new friendships, and with these ladies, we would be friends without Plexus. I mean, I would just love to hang with them anyway, but I'm just blessed that Plexus brought us together. And I encourage you all just to reach out to people not necessarily on your team, but and just get to know other Plexus people, because they're amazing. And they're some of my very best friends now. I'm very excited and proud to say that. So and I don't want y'all to get confused, but yeah, there's Sonya, raise your hand. The real Sonya, raise your hand. And then the second Sonya Dudley is really Helen McFadden. So raise your hand. You're cracking me up.
I don't know why it says that. Why would it say that?
Probably she used your computer, is what I'm thinking. Maybe?
No, well, I'm the main person like that bought the Zoom, and then I let her log in as me a lot, so that's probably why. I don't know. Might as well be 2 of me, Might as well be 2 of me.
That's right.
There's not enough of one me to go around, so I'm starting to come.
This is true.
So awesome. You had to be twins,
Yep. And so they are best friends. They met in Mary Kay, 20 years ago, right?
23 almost.
Almost 20.
So that's amazing. And so they've been on this great journey of life together, and now they get to do Plexus together, and I love it. They're the dynamic duo, and I'm proud to just turn this over to them. They have some great wisdom to share with us on leadership. And now that y'all are all golden above, I think that you should really take this to heart, listen to these guys. They know what they're talking about, and let's hear it from them. Who wants to go first?
I'll let you go, Sonya.
Oh, you will. Well, Alicia did spur on a thought, but before I get to that thought, and maybe I won't lose it, I want to, you were just talking about how neat it was, to travel and meet other Plexus ambassadors and just get to become friends with so many, and I loved my time with you. It was, I totally agree with you. I felt like I was as comfortable with you as anybody. Like, we would be friends if you lived here or I lived there. We would hang out. I mean, and to have that, I think that it's so important. That's one reason. And Helen, you'll probably agree with me on this. When we started doing meetings and events, we opened it to everyone. And because look what we were able to do by doing it. There's nowhere we go that our meetings are not open to everyone. I've done one in-home that she didn't have room and she wanted it private. Other than that, in almost 3 years, every event I've ever done, I open it to everyone, because then it really, you learn so much by not being that selfish, my team. There's something that happens to your heart, your charisma, your trust, your leadership when you embrace everyone. Helen, I'll let you tag off.
Well, it's true. And, I just came back from doing a Sacramento and Fresno event. And, just it's been so fun to see California grow. And I've been doing events there now for almost 2.5 years. And I pay for the hotel. Obviously we need the write-offs for, being diamonds. Obviously that's a perk. But we came from a business where, people would always have to pay. And I feel just like Sonya, life is a loop. What you put out, you get back. And a lot of us feel like we would almost do Plexus for free, just for the health part, but the friendships too. There's just, the world craves what we have. And so I have watched, by traveling to California, really starting to help, grow that state. My meetings go from, I went to San Diego one time and there was 3 people at my meeting. And now I go, and we had almost 100 in Sacramento, which is huge because there are no jewels yet in Northern California. And then I went to Fresno last night where it was standing room only, and we had over 150 people. And we didn't even have any emeralds there yet. There was 3 senior rubies that are getting real close. But to watch that, and people come up and say, thank you so much, or it's oftentimes their very first meeting, and they are just so grateful. We had somebody in Sacramento that came from Oregon. They drove 6.5 hours, and I could go on and on. And I know Sonya hears it too, about the people that are so appreciative that we invest our time. Now, obviously, we go to places where we do have levels that are pretty close to us, but we wouldn't dream of not opening it up to everybody. I think people who try to control that or not want to be generous with their time, and because events take a lot out of you. We stand there for a long time afterwards with pictures and questions and tears, and it is very, very, very it can be very draining emotionally, but in a good way. And there's so many people who have never even experienced that, so they're so grateful that we put out the time to do that. And we wouldn't imagine, it's a win-win. People who aren't open to that as leaders, if you just looked at the compensation plan alone, it benefits me to train everybody to be a great ambassador, just if you looked at the pay point, right? But we don't necessarily focus on that. It's a obvious thing. And when people don't share like that, they're really kicking themselves in in their own, whatever the word is, whatever that phrase is, So it's just absolutely, you just got to always be thinking, and what you put out comes back to you as a leader. And we don't ever exclude anybody. That we had a One Plexus #OnePlexus convention theme for a reason.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
it's a blessing. And when people really get it, when they really get it, that's when the magic can happen for them in their business in every way.
Yeah. Yep. Alicia, did you want us to just kind of go through some of these kind of questions, or do you just want to ask us anything, or how do you want to do this?
However you want to. Let me find our questions.
Yeah, I've got them in front of me now. I've scrolled through the message. We could just take one.
Yeah, just do that.
I don't know, Helen. We can just tag team. There's quite a few, so we'd need to tag team pretty quick. Maybe.
What I did, y'all, is I asked my jewels to give me some questions to ask them, things that they knew that y'all would want to know. And so I wrote those down for them and asked, if they wanted to answer them, if they had some that they wanted to add or skip over or whatever, that was just kind of a place where things that, they know that y'all would need to know. And I think with the meetings and opening up to everybody, and just to let y'all know, when I did that Reno meeting with Helen, with Sonya number 2 down there, we had there was at least 100 people there and probably 20 prospects at that meeting. I don't think I had one person that was on my downline at the meeting. I was there for softball anyway. I just, wanted to spend time with Helen, and I was honored that she wanted me as a guest at her meeting for her team. But it was an amazing meeting. I met some great people. It was not about growing my team. I was, helping a friend and growing Plexus. And I was learning too as a leader. And so I just want to encourage you, if you have opportunity to do that, to work with somebody else, don't think about it as how can this benefit me? If it's giving you an opportunity to grow, then it's benefiting you. Okay. And I know, they would do the same thing in a heartbeat if they were in town and they didn't have people coming.
For sure. Without a doubt. Anytime I have the opportunity to breathe belief in people, that's my passion. I don't care who they are. I don't care if I'm just going to the grocery store and meet someone and we're talking. I mean, that's my purpose for the day. So, yeah, absolutely. All right.
So,
Helen, you want to take the...
Yeah, we can talk about the best leadership exercise. And, for me, I like to, I actually have a gold and above team that I have here in Reno that we meet every couple months, and we plan for the upcoming events that we're going to have in Reno. And it's a great thing for, once people are silvers to shoot for, because they kind of want to be part of the gold and above. So I definitely dangle that carrot here. And I feel like once people have at least 20 people on their team to work with, they've shown some kind of commitment where they have good input for us, and good ideas and, things like that experience. So I actually give them the responsibility during our meeting. I take turns with my Emerald Ambassador here to actually do the event, the guest part of the event. And then we have either her or I take all the golds and above, and all the ambassadors go into a separate room, and they actually help with training. And it's just, the more responsibility that you can give to your team members, I think once that they're gold and above, the more they see themselves as a leader, which is really important for their team, especially when there's a diamond close by like Alicia or Sonya. Like, it's so easy for them just to look to us as the leaders. But like, for instance, I'm doing an event next month in Apple Valley with one of my golds. We're going there for her team. And it was kind of interesting. Her picture I already had in mind to like have her co-host with me and have her just share a few products, just kind of like you and I did, Alicia, like we bounced off each other and did some products, and then you did the business, where in this meeting I'll do the business part of the presentation. But she was at first really scared to death. She's like, Helen, they're all coming to see you. I go, you know what? It's your team we're going there for, to this town. They need to see you as the leader coming in with your upline, who happens to be a diamond, but they need to see you as a leader. So sometimes, we just have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And she's actually getting excited about it now instead of like wanting to throw up. And, sometimes that's just part of this business. You learn as you go. You can't just study the back office and study leadership. You have to dive in. And what better rank than to start with the gold? You're on your way where you have enough of a team, more than 3 being a silver, which are usually your best friend, your mom, and your aunt anyway, right? And so
yeah,
I just believe in giving people responsibility, and we've implemented really great things in our town that I feel like it helps the whole relationship part, where they feel part of a group and valued. And we talk a lot about that in our, Sonya and I are doing a group with the John Maxwell 21 Irrefutable Laws, and we talk about adding value and making people feel like they have input. It's critical. We're not managers. We are leaders, and we have to inspire and give permission to people to do the same as us.
Good. Yeah. Ditto. Do you have challenge groups? Right now, the challenge group we have, we're just doing the 21 laws, but we did which we both kind of did the same class, but I just put my Hawaii class on www.myplexuspower.com, and it's called 12-Week Fear Buster. And so that's on there with the call I did with it each week, plus all the assignments. That was a really, really fruitful class. A lot came from that. One of my gals, who's probably my level 6 or 7, she was in North Carolina last weekend when I was there, and she was silver in that class in October, and now she'll hit Ruby this month. And she's just one of many, many, many who come out of that class. A couple of jewels. come out of that class, Tim and Jessica, and there'll be many more. So we definitely like to, when things kind of get kind of like, people kind of just chugging along, no momentum. That's kind of when we go, why don't we do something? Why don't we implement something? So, that's kind of when we do that.
Yeah, I have right now. Yeah, right now I just have, Sonya and I, we have a level 1 group for levels 1, 2, and we have some 3s and 4s in there, just kind of depending. But we actually just kind of run challenges as we see fit. Like when we feel like right now we're running a challenge. I think I shared that with you, Alicia, about just getting newbies, because we had so many newbies at the beginning of the month with the special, for them to get their PV in. So we have a contest right now. If brand new people are getting their PV in, they can win. And if they win, their sponsor wins too. So there's something in it for their direct upline to help them to purchase decision packs, which we really encourage for people to be prepared, not just with business cards and a new Plexus shirt, to be prepared when they're out and about with 3-day trials to sell, because that will help people get people more encouraged to go to the website and commit to a 30-day than just never tasting it, sight unseen, and even just going to buy a trial off the website. I couldn't imagine anybody just doing that, on a regular basis, just because you hand them a card and talk about Plexus and they're like, well, I want to try it for 3 days, and you say, go to my site. So we really encourage that, and it's a win-win because they get their PV, we get their points, but it's just really beneficial for them to get off to a strong start. So we kind of just, we're a lot like you, Alicia Blue. We'll come up with an idea and we always agree, and then we run with it. And then like right now, I'm really hoping to win that shopping spree, planning on it. And so I have a level 1 contest right now where, because Matt's not going, I would take somebody with me, one of my level 1s, whoever gets the most points in a contest. So I kind of just base my contest off of, obviously, whoever's going to win that shopping spree with me has just added a ton of level 1s. And it's also based off of how many silvers that they build too. So it's just helping them. It's a tool to get them to build a really strong, wide base to their team, not just, we could go on and on about the importance. And I think that's actually even something you wanted us to talk about, a tip for the goals. Well, I'm sure Sonya's is going to be very similar, if not the exact same, just to keep sponsoring. You've just begun. I did a survey in our Jewels group a couple months ago where I asked all the emeralds or everybody in the group, when you made emerald, how many level 1s did you have when you became an emerald? And I don't even remember, a lot of people responded, and I took the total number of ambassadors, personal level 1s that they had, divided by the number of people, and it averaged 45. So when people are banging their head against the wall wondering why they're not emerald yet, and they might have 12 level 1s, well, guess what? The average is 45. Does it mean when you get to 45 it's going to happen? No, it's an average, but it's a good number to work with. So just to continue to take personal responsibility always. And of course, our contests will always reflect that. They have to make sense, the challenges for the person. You want to share anything else, Sonya? We can just talk, if you want to talk about another tip or.
Yeah, we better move on. There's not a lot of questions.
You have to do it.
Okay.
I gotta find this to plug in. Okay.
So I was just reading through some more of the questions. I'm going to skip the next one. I'm going to make Helen take it. You know what I'm talking about? Time management. Alicia, I'm glad you didn't ask us about organization. So,
better.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I can tell you this. What is a good tip for a new leader? Focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. I'm not a new leader. I'm an old leader, 20-something years. And if you could see my desk right now, you will have heard me say that 10 years ago. If there had been Zoom, I would have said the same thing 10 years ago. I will say the same thing 10 years from now. If you could see my desk. I do just enough to function, because the more important things to me are the people, the phone. I guess if it, count on yourself as being the person you can always count on. And that's why, as far as a good tip, you are really the only person who possibly could not disappoint yourself. Yes, we disappoint ourselves. We do. But you have more control over what you do and your thoughts, your attitude, how you're going to handle situations than anyone else. And, I think one of the biggest, the hardest things as a new leader, and even as an old leader, is watching people with potential not do anything with it. Watch people who could go all the way, not do a thing with it. It's heartbreaking, but you can only do so much. So, Helen, my voice is kind of getting a little scratchy, and I'm having to kind of talk loud and push.
Okay.
I've got all this sinus drainage this morning. You want to take over?
Sure. No, it's true. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And I think, yes, if your weaknesses matter to the point where you can't be productive, you absolutely should work on them. But focus on your strengths. And I think if you get to gold, you obviously have some passion. You're sharing the products. You kind of know what you're doing, and you might just need to work more. Obviously, we all need to work on our leadership skills always. School is never out for the pro. Sonya and I will read books about leadership until, we're in the nursing home. Who knows? Because it's what we do, and it's what we love, and it's all about people. And so I think, I'm a lot like Sonya. My desk, I have really, really neat piles, and lots of them. And I'm organized enough to get the job done. And, it's just not my personality, and it's okay. I think we need to be really okay with ourselves, because if we're not okay with ourselves, we won't be okay with leading a team. We can default back to the insecure mindset of, what am I doing wrong? Or looking to the left and looking to the right and comparing. And, whenever we do that, we are always going to come up short, because we are going to compare ourselves with someone else's strength, which is our weakness, or what we perceive to be our weakness. And so being confident, and if you have to we use that term, I don't really like it, but fake it till you make it. You have to be that person for your team that they're going to want to feel like they want your job. And if you are hesitant and doubtful in your abilities, the only way you're ever going to get there is just to keep doing Plexus, sharing the love and working on yourself day in, day out, day in, day out. This is not once you get to Emerald, you have arrived and you've learned it all. What's so unique about Plexus, Sonya and I have found with so many of our leaders, is because they organically grew a business from an amazing testimony, and they happen to be great at sharing and having good people that they sponsor into their downline. A lot of them come with absolutely no leadership experience. And that's okay, but they still have to learn the lesson once they get there. Some people, it takes a lot longer, and you're going to learn the lesson, many of them, before you get there. Either way, it's going to have to be learned. And it's all about, your journey, trusting the journey, planting seeds, trusting the harvest is going to come, and accepting yourself. And I think a lot of us really kind of know. I talked about this a little bit last night in my training. We oftentimes know exactly what our fear is, or maybe if we haven't yet, we got to dig deep. And Sonya's got great coaching to help with digging deep to get those questions answered in your mind of why you're not adequate or why you don't feel like you're enough. But it's such a journey. It's so awesome. Network marketing rocks, because you can't ever get there and be good unless you are working on every part of yourself. The ripple effect that you are by working on yourself so much to be a good leader and a good ambassador, and everything that you need to be successful in this business. The ripple effect into your family and your friendships, and just being a good quality person. You have to be successful. So it's one thing I will say about that, I don't know how many of you have children. This is the one thing I'm going to say about time management, because when Sonya and I were in the cosmetic company, we didn't work on social media. We didn't have a phone tied to us all the time. I mean, we were, we had a phone, like an actual phone, like a landline phone, and that was about it. And we were on it a lot, but we weren't texting and checking and having notifications all day. So know that you need to turn it off. You need to turn it off on purpose so you can have some downtime. And the last thing you ever want is your family to resent what you're so passionate about. I think it's a shame when people love Plexus so much that they lose sight of, it's trust me, no one loves it more than me, Alicia, Sonya, and probably all of you. But I have to respect that my family's not in Plexus, and they have their passions too, and I have to accept, my son plays every instrument under the sun. My other son is a little yo-yo or skateboarder. I have to turn off my phone and go spend time with them to learn and accept their passion. And I can't say that enough about just the importance of having downtime and not being Plexus 24/7. If you feel like that's what's going to get you to Emerald faster, you are very, very mistaken, because nobody in a healthy place would ever be in a healthy place if they were doing anything 24/7. Balance is biblical. And so we need to really think about that. Now, however you do it, if you have a date book, you block off time. If you do it digitally, however you do it, just do it. Schedule date night. Schedule time. Like tonight, we have a rule, no phone at the dinner table. And, that goes for all of us, not just my kids. And so I was going to say something, though, about the time management. I lost it. You have anything to add about that, Sonya? Is your voice back?
Well, it's just when I strain, it is easy to work it all the time because we love it. We feel like it's just a part of what we do. And people say, well, what is your schedule? People ask me that all the time. And I remember, and I know you remember this, Helen. You remember in the very beginning, the first 6-7 months because we joined in September and we were Emerald by the middle of March. And so then we were Diamonds like 3-4 months later. So it happened so fast. We were kind of consumed. We were overwhelmed. And I remember in the very beginning when things were getting crazy, I was getting senior gold. I felt like I had to answer every message within minutes of when I got them. And I can just tell you that there's really no message that cannot wait 24 hours. Here's the thing. If it can't wait 24 hours, guess what they're going to do? They're going to find somebody else they're either going to figure it out themselves, or they're going to find someone else to ask. And by the time you answer them, you say, you don't apologize either. Because if you start apologizing, which is what I did, sorry, it took me 7 hours to get back to you. Well, then they expect that from you. But if you just answer them 24 hours later, hey, were you able to find the answer to this? If not, I had an idea or whatever. Then they usually say, never mind, no big deal. Or a lot of times I get an answer to their message before I've ever opened the first one. Hey, I found it. Hey, no worries. I know you're busy. I got the answer. Duh. So give people time to figure it out. Sheila always told me and Helen, don't ever tell people the answers. Tell them where to find the answers. That was some of the best advice she gave me when things were exploding. And then, we were getting 20 messages a day or 30 of the same question. And that's when I'm like, Helen, maybe if I could do like a video and put it on that thing, I think it's called YouTube.
And YouTube Queen was born.
Do what? Yeah.
I was born right there.
Yeah.
I never intended on what happened to YouTube to happen, but it was obviously meant to be, because I know it's helped a lot of people, but it definitely helped our team for answers without us having to repeat ourselves all day. We just, didn't have a lot of hours in the day to spare. And I think people respect your time based on how you demand that respect, how you set the tone. So from the very beginning, if you guys are gold, senior gold and up, set that standard to where you don't answer every message within 5 minutes. And you don't apologize when you answer in 2 hours instead of 2 minutes. Start setting the tone of when people call you or they say, when can we talk? I never say, oh, I'm home all day, anytime. I say, you know what? I've got a time frame between 12 and 1 or between 3 and 4, and that's it. That's all I have left. Guys, it can be all you have left. You have a family. You have housework. Some of you have other jobs. That is the truth. So you select that and say, I have 20 minutes right here. Will that work for you? That's the way I run all my appointments with phone, Zooms, everything. Always. I've done that for a long time.
Think about it. I know we get messages all the time, and they always start off, you can see them on private messenger. I know you're really busy, but
Right.
you know what I'm talking about. And, honestly, really think about, and Alfred, who was one of the founders of the company, used to say, nobody will want your job if you have a phone with you 24/7. And part of our job is to sell our job, our position.
Yeah.
And if people, they already know diamonds work hard, but I intentionally post about when I'm with my family and I'm with my chickens or the boys. And, I want them to see I'm a real person. I have a real life with real demands on my schedule from my family and my mom. And, and like Sonya said, they will respect that instead of always just being reactive to every demand. Because sometimes, or most of them, they're not even on our team, the people that reach out to us. And we have to be really careful. And I want to help everybody, but then I think, well, wait a minute, why are they asking me when I know who their upline is or whatever? So you got to be just real. You just have to make good decisions as a leader to set boundaries and be a leader. Take charge. You own your own business, and don't ever let anybody make you feel guilty for choosing your family over your business, because ultimately everybody wants that. So you are selling your job by saying no to people, and if they don't see it yet, hopefully they will, but then they're just, it's going to be, the business is going to be very, very hard for them. Because, and I talk about this a lot, I don't want to be the crazy Plexus lady that can't even have a conversation with a friend and go out to lunch and not talk about anything but Plexus. I think the more they see that we're balanced, then they realize, gosh, it is a job and she's passionate, but she has a life. I think you will gain so much respect operating from perspective. So
good. Well, we're selling the dream, and the dream. Who's got a dream to work 24/7? Nobody. I tell people all the time, I've never wanted to develop followers. I want to develop leaders, because I don't want to be on the beach when I'm 60 years old, or 60, 55, 60, 65. I don't want to be working hard, and I want to have so many leaders. I don't want to be in control. I don't want to be the boss. That's never what I've wanted. I want to develop people to have freedom. And when they think you're working 24/7, who wants that? No one wants that. There was one question here. It says, how do you reach out to your...
go ahead, sorry. Just, I thought it was, what would we do different now, what we know now, but go ahead.
Well, I'm not going in order, so you know me better than that. I'm picking and choosing. That way, if we run out of time, we can cover what I want to go. Come on.
That's right.
Keep me on my toes.
You know how I am. So the one about, we know you have a website. Like, how do you reach out to your downline? Do you send welcome emails? If so, how many levels? So you want to cover that one? Or you want to start and me tag, or you may start and you tag?
Go ahead.
So, yeah, you know what? Helen and I had a group in the beginning that turned into like almost 8,000 people. I mean, it was so out of hand. I remember we were in California in January. I remember this. It's Super Saturday. That was our first Super Saturday ever that we did. And we were like, we couldn't do anything for putting out all the fires in the group. And we were like, you know what? This has turned into consuming us. And people, instead of people looking up their answers, they would just go to the group and, you know, just where do you find the cross
chain of command and, you know, doing it right. Like nobody understood that. It was so chaotic.
People got lazy and they would just say, how much is the Plexus Slim? Just stuff like that. And so we decided to dissolve the group. So we dissolved the group and we created a website so we could send people to, but then we haven't had our level 1 group very long, but we do have a level 1, 2, 3, you know, any stragglers that don't have leaders. We have a group like that, a small group together now, but it's much more manageable. So I just think, you know, if I didn't have social media, could I have built a deep downline? And yes, we could have. And maybe even stronger people, maybe, you know? So I'm not all about big groups. So you want to add to that, Helen?
I think, you know, we send out welcome emails. I think that's about the only emailing I do is every week we send out an invitation to our Saturday morning Zoom for the newbies. And obviously we just can send them to 1 through 7 because that's the only emails that we have up to. And, but really a lot of it, you know, is just good old fashioned texting and reaching out and not just, I think the more personally you can be and really try to, on your heart, you know, work with those 20%. We learn about a lot, you know, we want to just work with the 80 that are fun and we love the most or whatever, but go work with the people, cover up your reports, whatever rank you are, and don't look at the names and look at the people who have just recently sponsored, who has the highest PV, who have the most customers, and those are the people that you focus on. And you don't have to do everything through a Facebook group. I think we can just default to that because everybody has a Facebook group and that's how you can just blast out you know, messages and inspiration. But like Melissa Eichenhorst trained for all of us leaders, you know, to just select 5 people for, you know, groups that you really want to help develop leaders, and 5 for a reason, you know, so you can pour into them and it's more personal. And I think, you know, that when we can really connect with people on a personal level, that's when the true bonding, you know, Alicia and I and Sonya and Alicia, like our relationship had some new layers of depth because we met together face to face and spent a day together. Nothing will ever take the place of that. If you're within driving distance of your team, you know, or your 20%ers or the people that are in your 20%, you know, go spend a day with them. You will learn so much about people. I have gone, you know, just to hand out flyers for an event. If you're going to do an event with somebody that night, even just a launch party in their home, but you want to just go out and talk about Plexus with them. You might think they're really good, but they start to talk in public and they stammer and stumble over their words, and they, you know, sometimes it's because they're nervous because I'm there, but I'll stand back and just say, just pretend I'm not here. I want to hear what you say because I want to help them. I'm coming up from a place of constructive criticism and love for them to become a great leader and be confident. And those things can only happen. Those relationships can only deepen and trust built and all that important stuff face to face in personal conversations. So, you know, please don't rely completely on Facebook groups and think that you're just a cool graphic of the day that says, you know, dream big is going to help people. I mean, that is like not, you know, that's not our job. That's a bonus, but we've got to really, really connect with people. This is all about relationships.
Yeah. And I think, you know, not trying to solve all their problems for them, but make them solve their problems by asking them questions, listening to what they're saying to you. I don't know how to talk to people. Instead of you giving the answer, which is what we're conditioned to do, well, tell me, Susie, tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Well, I just don't know what to say. Well, tell me what you are saying, and let's listen and see what we could change. Have her tell you. Maybe she can't tell you because she's not really saying anything. Okay, if you knew what you would say, what would it be? Well, I don't know. Well, let's think about it. If someone approached you, what would be a comfortable way to be approached? Make them think and dig, because that way when they come up with the answer, they're excited because they think, oh my gosh. And then if it works, they're proud of themselves. If it doesn't work, they blame themselves and not you. So really coaching people by listening and asking questions. People who say, well, I'm going to take a break for a while, but they're doing good and have momentum. We had a conversation like that this morning. It can either be self-sabotage, or you can say, that's fine if you want to do that, but can you tell me your reasoning behind that? Okay. As long as you understand what can happen to your business if you take off during the momentum, as long as you're aware that things could slow down, I'm okay with that. As long as you're aware of that. Are you aware of that? Well, what do you mean it could slow down? Well, and then ask more questions. Have you seen people on Facebook that were posting every day for 3 months? They hit these ranks, and then all of a sudden they disappear for a month. Have you ever seen that happen? Yeah. Okay. How did you perceive that? What message did that
Alicia
send?
knows.
Well, huh?
Alicia knows.
Do what?
Alicia knows.
Okay.
She sponsored under Beth because her gal stopped posting.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah. So, but instead of just giving the solution and answers, help them create that. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I almost have to go. I have to go in a couple minutes. So, Alicia, is there anything that you want us to cover that we haven't?
No, I just want to let everybody know how amazing y'all are. I mean, I really learned so much from y'all. I just soaked it all in, and I really appreciate y'all loving on me and introducing me to your teams. And I love traveling. I went out to a lot of places this summer. I've done a lot of meetings, and I've also got some smaller groups and some calls going, and these Zoom calls, and really getting to know people. And I've enjoyed it so much. And sometimes when your team gets so big, I'm almost at 13,000 now, and it overwhelms me. I'm a mama of 4 kids, y'all. I don't know how to handle 13,000 people, but I'm very, very blessed that I have great leaders on my team, and I consider all of you in that category, and I'm thankful for all of you. And I encourage you to go all the way to the top with this company. If the reward is amazing, you will make more friends than you've ever dreamt of. You will have financial freedom. You will grow as a person, as a leader, and you will learn balance. You will learn life balance, because guess what? My 4 kids aren't going anywhere. They still need mama, and I've got to, learn to divide my time, and that can be hard. And I remember it was an event we did, and I was at lunch with Alec, and he's like, so how many hours do you think you work? And I just sat there, and I'm like, gosh, I don't know that I've ever really added it up. He goes, I want you to. And if you're working over full-time hours, 40 to 50 max hours, you're not living the dream anymore. And it was just a wake-up call to me, even though I am working around all my kids' schedules. But if I'm really putting that much time into Plexus, more than a full-time job, that's not living the dream. I've got to, devote my time to things that are important, right? And that are going to help grow other leaders on my team and other people on my team, because that's my why now. That's my goal now as a Diamond Ambassador. I want as many of y'all at the top as possible. So I'm here for you, and and I know your upline is too. If they're not, come to me for sure. But I can't wait to see you all get to where me, Helen, and Sonya are, because we are definitely having a blast. But we're blessed by y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, and we have soaked it all in. And I can't wait to share this with the leaders that couldn't be all tonight. I'm going to go find my dessert, because I did take my block, so I'm ready. And we had some free food for dinner, so I think I might need something else to go with that. But anyway, y'all have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Love y'all.
Thanks for having us on.
Having a
Love
great
you.
leader. We love you, Alicia,
Yes.
and your team's awesome.
Bye.
She
Thank y'all.
is. She rocks.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.